What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here with another showcase video. And throughout all of the videos today you guys are going to be seeing, this is mainly going to be focused on Final Tap Kid. We're going to have this video, and we're going to have his PvP video also up at some time today, so definitely look forward to that. So let's go ahead and jump into my positives and negatives that I have found whilst using Captain Kid over the past couple of days since his Sugafest debuted. And this unit is pretty incredible, right? Being a 5 times flat captain, as well as giving them a 1.3 health boost to strength, striker, and driven characters. Really good for strikers, as they hadn't really received a new captain in a really long time. The last good, I think, striker-based captain was the V2 waifus with Shirahoshi Mancherry V2 and also the Vivian Rebecca. So it's really nice that striker got a brand new support style unit, and then driven just get another powerful character that they get access to. And we already know how good driven are with all of their recent releases, so that's fantastic. And the fact that he is a strength-based unit as well, he has great synergy with a lot of other really powerful strength captains, such as Odin, for example. If you get access to Wano slots, and Odin being an orb booster works well with Kid, it can be a pretty solid option. Also, the Sweet Generals are another really good option too. Douglas Bullet still stays winning, man. I mean, Douglas Bullet is still a really solid captain. Obviously, normal attacks only hinders his usability a little bit, but still a very, very good captain effect on paper. And even versus Kaido and versus Big Mom for that matter as well, because both of which are driven characters, so you can have some synergy with those characters as well. And eventually down the road, we'll be getting another strength super type in Toki that can also work well with Captain Kid. The other minor additions to Kid's captain effect are a little bit strange though from what I've found, but you know, -3 cooldown to himself only, and then 25% damage reduction when you fall below 50%. Both of which are a little bit strange. I kind of wish they were altered in such a way where the cooldown buff was for all characters, but it wasn't as much cooldown. And then also I wish that the damage reduction once again was for all the time. You don't have to be below a certain HP threshold, but then maybe reduce the damage reduction by a slight margin. I think that would have been a really nice addition to the unit. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Overall, the unit is still an incredible captain. And speaking of him as the captain, of course, he gets access to the super typing, which sometimes can be an annoying condition. In order to use the super type, you have to launch his special 2 times throughout the quest. So yeah, that can be a little bit annoying. You really have to make sure you are playing to his advantages so you can actually get that to activate. But at least you don't need very specific units, and that has definitely hindered some super types down in the past, where they've needed very specific units and it's just too annoying to fulfill the condition. This unit, for example, is not a very difficult condition to fulfill, and it grants pretty good benefits, right? A full board of matching slots and also burn removal by 3 turns. Pretty obscure choice though to remove burn. I don't know specifically why they chose that of all things. But, you know, it's not a terrible thing. You can have double Captain Kid to remove up to 6 turns of burn. So not terrible if you find the right situation for it. But his super type isn't the end all be all, because one of his best units to be used with is V2 Shirahoshi Mancherry, which can already generate you a full board of matching slots whenever you need them. And then, of course, the best thing about Kid is his special ability. It's just absolutely absurd. Having AoE damage that bypasses all defensive effects, that includes base defense, and also the fact that it is a damage dealing special in the first place is really good for supports either now or in the future that can really benefit from that. And another thing as well is that with Kid, he can basically grant you whatever boost you need. If you've already got a character on your team that is an attack boost, whenever you launch Kid, he's going to be an orb booster. If you've got an attack and an orb boost already active, you can get a color affinity boost. Or if you need him to be your dedicated attack booster, he can do that as well. That's one of the great things about Kid, is no matter what the situation is, you're able to get a very nice buff from Kid, no matter what. So that's a really, really big benefit to this unit. The fact that he's so flexible in what he wants to do. So even if you are bringing characters that are, you know, providing you with some debuff removal, plus they maybe give you an attack or an orb boost, you can still get some other buff from it, and it doesn't really overlap with what Kid tries to do, unlike what it would do with other Sugafest exclusives. And then of course we cannot forget the ability that he just supercharges his special ability, instantly charges it once again if you've used his special ability whilst your health is above 51%. Getting it back instantly, then using a healing special to heal all the way back up, and then being able to use it over and over again, as you guys may have seen when I uploaded the video when I first got the character against the GARP Challenge 15. Being able to literally clear the entire content with just specials alone is pretty crazy, and this character is just awesome, man. Just a bunch of fun. The damage, then obviously the cheese teams are not the reason why Kid is as good as what he is. It's his amazing flexibility and the ability to use his special on multiple stages or multiple times per turn to give your team a substantial damage increase. You can even build the team in such a way where Kid is legitimately the only character on your team that gives you a damage increase, and the rest of your crew can be dedicated to utility for getting around debuffs on boss stages. And that can work because Kid can basically do everything by himself in terms of damage potential, a full board of matching slots with his super type as well. Obviously he doesn't get around block orbs, which is the only real, negative I feel with that special ability. But overall, I'm super impressed with the things that I've seen thus far whilst using the brand new Final Tap Captain Kid. Now, while all of these things do sound amazing, there are definitely things that make this character not as viable and a little bit annoying to use. Now, currently we're in a situation where we get to use the 1000 Sunny ship, where during the event we get like the max cooldowns and the 3x berry and EXP, but once this event period expires, when you really think about it, there's actually not that many good ships that this character gets access to. The ones that come to mind would be like the Nostra Castello, which is a strength, psi, and int boosting ship. If you are running, teams like that, you can use the Nostra Castello. It's a fantastic ship. Also, the Hawkins ship is one you may want to think about as well if you are running a full striker team, because that ship is actually pretty decent. But I think the one that I think most people would probably opt for, especially because it gives you so much extra damage, is the Mama Chanta, as it will boost strength dex in quick, and your captain does have to be a driven or a powerhouse character, but then if you hit 3 perfects, it gives you a 1.65 times boost. I really wished that the Kid ship from his training forest kind of made, this unit a little bit better, but unfortunately that ship doesn't really synergize well with the Final Tap Kid. It is unfortunate, unless if like Wano slots become a little bit more common, or there's more units that can generate Wano slots for your team. At that point, yeah, it would make sense to use that ship, but at the moment, no. He doesn't really get access to a lot of good ships like Law or what Luffy have. But also another thing that you may have even noticed in this video is the fact that sometimes you don't even need 2 Captain Kids to get through the content. Obviously, I wanted to use 2 Captain Kids just to show them off, but realistically speaking, you actually don't even need 2 Captain Kids a lot of the time. In a lot of circumstances, I felt like I could just run 1 kid and then have a hybrid of literally anything else that might make things a little bit easier for getting through the content. So that is something to think about as well, is that, his hybrid options are plentiful. There are many good characters you can hybrid with, considering he is a strength, a striker, or a driven captain. Plenty of good units there. So that is something to think about, is that, yeah, double kid might not be always the best, but considering he's able to supercharge his special every time you activate it, you just kind of just have his special all ready to go on multiple stages, which can be a huge benefit. And if you are hybriding it up, it means that you get a lot more benefits from using another character, and you get benefits from their captain effect. So something to think about. You don't need double kids all the time. I definitely found like double Law and double Luffy were pretty awesome. Luffy can hybrid up pretty well, because there are some pretty decent Kree captains like Super Type Kaido, for example, but Law, for example, I felt like was really nice to have double Law because of his healing capabilities, and we'll talk more about Law once we get to all of his videos a little bit later on, but for kids specifically, yeah, not really too needed. And then, of course, the big negative that I have found with Captain Kid is the fact that he doesn't really have a lot of good supports, unfortunately. There is a very small list of characters that would be viable supports for Captain Kid. I mean, you've got characters like Arena, what's his name? Kamazo. Arena Kamazo for color affinity, maybe if you're running a more driven-based team. I mean, you've obviously got access to the treasure map Luffy Taro, who is probably one of the best supports you can have on Kid. If you do a damage dealing special, it removes Blind Despair and Paralysis by 2. Like, that is a great support effect. It does attach to Kid, of course, but he's a treasure map rare recruit, and not a lot of people are going to get access to that, unfortunately. If you want to get access to matching slots without having to activate another special, or without having to activate a super type, for example, you know, the Legend Akainu V1 attaching 2 Kid, damage dealing special, full board of strength slots. Obviously, you need to make sure those strength slots are beneficial to whatever team you are using, but that is another viable option as well. But I mean, across the board, comparing it to Law and to Luffy, Kid's definitely lacking in the support department. But with all of that being said, guys, that is just about going to wrap up this video. Those are my pros and cons of Captain Kid that I have located thus far. Definitely a fantastic unit, having a bunch of fun using him so far. I don't think he's the best legend in the game. I do not think that, but he is a bunch of fun to use. And I guess, you know, we could talk about his final tap very briefly. His final tap, of course, is interesting because at level 1, I feel like it's probably the best of the 3 because it just makes his normal attacks just, you know, attack all units, which is pretty useful. Whereas the other characters like Law and Luffy, they don't really provide that much at level 1, and then at level 5 I think it changes a little bit because, you know, I think that Law and Luffy do get some pretty substantial buffs after that fact. But yeah, I think his final tap is just okay. Not the best, it's fine, but definitely not one that I would recommend maxing out straight away. But that is going to wrap up this video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching it, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.